Hello dear viewers, Caffeinated Warlord is back, returning to my tournament coverage. Now I know it's not a live battle report, but these games were too exciting not to turn into videos, so I'm going to do it anyway. For those that may not recall, I've won twice and lost once. Twice against 𝐟𝐥𝐚𝐦𝐞𝐬 and then 𝐼𝐴𝐴, and then lost to elves, quite considerably, geez. But they're all good battles, and I'm quite pleased with my progress, but I still have 3 games to go. And this game is going to be a tough one. It's going against Salamanders, and it's not just any Salamander list, but one that literally does what my army does, but better.
He does exactly what I do,
but better.
So we have Dakota Warriors, which are similar to my Unforged Orcs, right? Just some throwaway kind of chaff. They're cheaper, they're faster, so they're better. Then we have a regiment of Unblooded, which are reasonably choppy little infantry, with a meat of madness for some extra wild charge on top of the wild charge they already have. But the real meat and potatoes of this list are the 2 hordes of ceremonial guards. These are massive phalanx, defense 5, really high nerve bricks of heavy infantry. They literally are way tougher than what my heavy infantry are, higher nerve, better like combat profile, they're just good. Both of them have an effigy of fire, which I don't remember what it does, but they do. One of them has a hand sanguinary scripture for some life leech 2 to give it more staying power, I suppose. Then we get into some more classic choices, such as a horde of Scorchwings with fire oil and a horde of Rhinosaur cavalry with Suggestive boots of striding. These are both classic hammers, but there's a lot of almost the stuff I've just mentioned is all very hard stuff. It's harder than the stuff that my stuff is, and it can shoot a bit as well. The Scorchwings can shoot, but we'll get onto what can really shoot. And those are the 3 Commodons. They're literally the same amount of points as my 𝐼𝐴𝐴, but I feel like they are just far away better. So the 𝐼𝐴𝐴, they're not bad. They kind of have a little lightning bolt blast attack that they can do as they walk up. But the Commodons, they have a really long-ranged attack that ignores Obscured, so they're kind of like catapults that are monsters, so they can score as well. And they have Vicious on their attacks. So while they don't have steady aim, they don't usually need to move. They're just sitting in the background, just shooting away. So they are like my 𝐼𝐴𝐴, but better. You look at the profile and you're just like, yeah, these are just straight up better. But, you know, I guess one of the things my 𝐼𝐴𝐴s do have is that they can keep up with the army, which is kind of cool. So, you know, which one do I prefer? I don't know. I would like to see what our Commodons, 3 of them, would be like in a Riftforged Orc army, but I guess we'll never know unless I just, you know, take it illegally. But anyway, let's continue. We also have 2 Phoenixes that both come stock standard with heal and their fire sparks shooting attacks. So these aren't the ancient Phoenixes, these are just the normal Phoenixes, but there's 2 of them. And then we have 2 Heralds. One with the Trickster's Wand, one with the Loops of Insatiable Darkness, so one has Hex, one has Bane Chant, and then finally we have the Battle Captain, and he has the Path of Fire, which I think gives him a Pathfinder aura, so it's a lot of cool stuff in this list, and you can see the kind of synergies that are coming out. So what have we got in here? Well, we've got lots of shooting, heaps of shooting, so we have the 3 Commodons worth of like long-range attacks, we have the medium-range shooting of the Phoenixes and the Scorchwings, and if that all concentrates onto the one thing, that is one thing. Then we also have things that annoy me. Here's Hex. I don't want to see Hex. Hex is really annoying. That's gonna bloody go straight for my Stormforged Shrine. It doesn't want to be hexed ever. We have Pathfinder and things. We have really heavy units, like those Ceremonial Guards is not a good target for my Hellstrikers, but there's not much else in my army that I can really throw into them to do damage, but it won't be the Hellstrikers, not into the front anyway. So it is a tough list that I feel like just does what mine does better. It does heavy infantry better, it does shooting monsters better, and it's got heal, whereas my army has no heal. So it's very formidable, and I was just looking at it going, oh, how am I going to get through it? And so if you're not familiar with my list, and you should be by now, but we'll go through it ultra fast. So pay attention. Unforged Orcs, 1 regiment, 1 horde of Riftforged Legionaries, not bad dudes, Riftwalker troop, that's chaff, Hellstriker horde, one of my main hammers, 3 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐴n, and these are the shooting monsters that I was just mentioning that are inferior to Commodons, but what are you going to do? A War Drum for some rally, the Stormforged Shrine to give out all kinds of Bane Chant, Host Shadow Beast, and maybe a little Lightning Bolt at the start. That's my centerpiece unit. Then a Riftforger, a little hero to go and bash things. Thonar, a big hero to go and bash things. And then we have the formation, which is the Iron Boots formation, which includes 2 regiments of Riftforged Legionaries and 1 regiment of Reborn Legionaries, which have inspiring, And really all that does is just give them a bit more of a nerve boost. It's not a very exciting formation. It doesn't really unlock a new playstyle. It's just more orcs. But hey, I'll take it. So that's my army, 2,100 points, going against the better version of my army, which are the Salamanders. So let's look at the pictures of Salamanders. They are Temple Guard models here from Good Old Games Workshop, stuck in with some scenery and some flowers. And some more Lizardman Warriors. A blurry action shot of the actual Mantic Phoenix, which is an awesome model. And here's another Phoenix, painted a bit more brightly, or at least better illuminated. These are the Scorch Phoenix. Those don't look so good. But overall, the army, not too bad looking. Pretty spiffy. This actually is worth a picture, because this is the what are those? These are the cavalry, the Cold One riders, with also a Stegodon to be. This is the Rhinosaur Cavalry Horde, so that actually looks pretty cool. That's nice. So yeah, definitely worth a picture of that one too. And here is the setup, and here is the dapper lad that's running them. So this is Josh, and I don't know if we somehow coordinated. We didn't, but we both wore some outfits to this event. I wore a more daring outfit on the first day. I was, trying to be kind of almost suited up, but he was proper suited up. 3-piece suit, top hat and a tie. He was looking quite the piece. But this is the second day, so I think by this point, we've made our statements and we're going a bit more casual, but you can still see he's sporting the vest and the tie and the top hat, so hence he is the gentleman for today. Now, let's get into what we're seeing here. So we've got the terrain set up, so let's go quickly through it. We've got trees, you can see those. There's 2 trees, they're covered in trees for now, and they're forest and forest. We have a nice big tower for blocking terrain, which we set as the base of it being the blocking terrain, so there's no qualms about what is what. 2 big flat hills, so one here on the right, one here on the left. Not really doing anything with that one on the left, but that's how it is. We've got some flat terrain here in my deployment that I've completely ignored, and he's got flat terrain that he's got his ceremonial guard stuck in, but it's okay because they have Pathfinder from their battle captain. Then there's another little tower right here in the way of my deployment zone, but I didn't mind too much. It kind of forced me to split my army a bit, but I didn't split it literally, so I didn't do the major sin of the Riftforged Orcs. And then we have an obstacle right here, and an obstacle all the way over here that we will also forget about. Now, why there's so many tokens around? Well, let me tell you, it's because it's Fool's Gold, one of the dreaded Bluff token scenarios. Bluff token scenarios being the kind where you put down tokens face down. They all have different values underneath them. And obviously you have to kind of keep track of what you're putting down. So you put them, I have to put down 5 in my opponent's area, and vice versa, he puts down 5 in my area, and then we have to flip them over at turn 3 and reveal exactly how they were distributed, because guess what? 2 of them are worth 1, 1 of them's worth 2, and 2 are worth 0. So he can see all these tokens, he could plonk his units on top of them to try and score them, but some of them may be worth 0 and be literally wasting his time. And so you can see what we've done. We've kind of both opted to put ours as close to the midline as possible. So he's got 4 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've got 4 there. My 5th one is down over here, kind of near the back. I think it's right there. And his 5th one, I think, is underneath one of my units. So that's the distribution of them. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly where my ones are. So I have, this is a 1 here on the right. This one's a 2. And then there's the one over here at the back. That's another 1. And I'm pretty proud of where I put those 2 ones, but I don't know what I was thinking when I was putting down this back 1 being a 1, because my army, first, isn't that fast. And 2, that's exactly where his Commodons are going to be. So the Commodons can just score it, unless I can get something that's more than 3 unit strength to take it off them. So not sure what I was thinking there, but I'm pretty proud of these other 2 over here, because generally the way you do it is you put down your tokens and you put it so that your army can just go steamroll right up to go get those tokens. It's usually pretty obvious to the opponent where those tokens are, and so it's not that much of a deception game, but you can play some cheeky little tricks. I mean, for instance, I can obviously tell that one of these tokens over here, this one in particular, is worth something because he's got 1 unit doing absolutely nothing. It's just going to jog over there. Why would it be over there if there was not a token to get? So, you know what? He can have it, because for me to try and take that from him, I will need to send something here that I just can't afford to get rid of. So I was just like, you know what? He can have that one, and I'll just really try hard and smash all of this stuff. Is that a tactic? I'm not sure, but I'm sure as hell going to try. Now, onto deployments. I've deployed my whole army right here in this right corner, and the only things that are really behind this annoying piece of terrain are the things that can fly. So that's the Riftwalkers that can just go whoop over it, and Thonar who can just get around it, because he's a nice little cheeky individual. So for my middle block here, I've got literally, it's all my regiments of heavy infantry. We've got the formation and the Unforged Orcs there right in the middle. So there's the Reborn that I put behind the Unforged. The Unforged now have Wild Charge D3 thanks to the formation, so that's cool. We've got all the support, we've got Shrine, we got Wardrum, we've got 2 𝐼𝐥𝐚𝐸𝐸, and we have the little Riftforger there. So that's a lot of stuff that hopefully can at least, what I'm hoping is just kind of hold up this stuff, because they definitely can't take out these hordes. But there's not enough room on the right side for me to just use them to push up and take all these tokens. And I don't think this stuff on the right side will have that much of a problem. So I've got my horde of legionaries backed up by the Hellstrikers. I'm not putting the Hellstrikers out by themselves again. After my terrible time against the elves, I'm going to look after them. I'm going to treat them the way they should be treated. And so they're going to be here ready to pounce on anything that needs to get pounced on. And there's a little 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐸 on the side. And somewhere in here, and there's Thonar right there. So that's the build that we have on this side. So on his army, what we have on the right, facing off against my big horde of legionaries, we have a Phoenix, we have the Unblooded, that's the Unblooded regiment right there, with the Scorchwings behind. There's the Rhinosaur cavalry, and then boom, boom, 2 big hordes of Ceremonial Guard, flanked by another Phoenix. Commandants behind there. Somewhere behind all this are heralds, the 2 different heralds and the battle captain, and then the good-coded warriors over on the other side. So I've got to contend and try and delay the Ceremonial Guard hordes, because I don't really think I can kill them. And while I try and destroy everything else and just secure my tokens and hope that, one of these 2 tokens here are also scoring, so then I can just win somehow. It's the classic meme. It's just deploy, go forwards, question mark, win. That's my plan. Turn 1. Well, I've taken a picture. He's gone first. Taking a picture of Commandants because they're shooting me. So what we have is everything's just slightly moved up. He's into the forest with his whole army that's just kind of moved up. They're getting onto the hill over here. So yeah, it's moved up. What do you want me to say? It's just he's advancing. But he's also trying to get into range to power down, just to shoot me to pieces with 3 Commandants, which you can see right over this because they're height 3. So bang, bang, bang. Going to shoot into that regiment along with the Fire Sparks McGee over here. So let's see what kind of damage. It's 2 damage. It's 3 damage. It's just 3 damage. So yeah, after that he was like, oh, because I've heard horror stories of this army during its playtesting period, because I am in some group chats where he was testing this out, and people were saying, oh, he's destroyed this. Oh, he took off my cavalry, and yeah, so I was ready to just start losing unit, but 3 damage. I think I can handle that. I can't handle it for ages because I have no form of healing, but I can handle a bit of it. So in my turn, I've moved up, and so kind of just getting the whole army up here and just kind of keeping it all spaced out enough so nothing can really get multi-charged. Apart from, please multi-charge my Unforged Orcs, because I really don't care about them. That's their whole point, is just to be out there. So I'm just moving up and getting ready to just delay things while my big chunky half of the army on the right side here is going to engage all the Lizardmen units over here, the Salamanders, taking them down. So I've got my big horde that's just pretty much taking up the whole frontage of this whole gap, spanning the gap, and so he's got to have to hit it, and he needs to hit it with something that can take it out. And I don't know if Scorchwings combined with Unblooded are those kinds of things. I do a bit of shooting my 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐸𝐸, a little bit of damage to these guys, but with the heal there, it doesn't really matter. I do a bit of shooting to that as well. So turn 2. More movement, more moving up. He's maintaining a solid battle line, but they haven't charged. They just kind of moved up a little bit. The Phoenix is trying to get around my back line. It wants to start shooting some of my tender bits, such as the Wardrum or the 𝐼𝐴𝐴𝐸𝐸𝐸, and yeah, fair game. The good-coded warriors moving up right here, and you can see that they've mission accomplished. They've gotten to the token, and that's where they'll stay. But everything very tentative and just trying to carefully move up, because I don't think he wants to engage orcs too early. Fair enough. And another picture because it's Commandant time. Commandant time leads to 5 damage on my shrine. Now this kind of was just like a knock to the skull almost, because the shrine to me is sacred, firstly. Yes, it's a shrine. But also it's just usually something no one ever targets the entire game. But he knows what's up. he has played Riftforged Orcs, like he actually has played them. So he knows the shrine is actually quite integral to my whole battle plan, and targeting it is not stupid. Like actually putting some damage on it so that I will not want to put it out into situations is a good idea. And so yeah, 5 damage on the shrine, it's something you could easily see, and just bang, 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 Commandant's putting the damage on. We also get some Fire Sparks damage on my Amber Ox, because he realized the Amber Ox might be the thing that kills his Phoenix. And yeah, we just got, oh, and that's a dead Amber Ox. Now that's something I forgot. So yeah, there you go. Phoenix wins against Amber Ox. I mean, they have quite low nerve. Poor little Amber Ox time. So I've still got another Amber Ox, and so in my turn, I've moved it over here to take on that Phoenix, to start just shooting it. So I'm like, no, not on my watch. So this Amber Ox is going to avenge its fallen beetle brethren. I have moved up a little bit more, but what have I done here? I've bloody sent in the Unforged Orcs. Boom, in they go. But yeah, only 2 damage. So was that worth it? I'm not. Definitely not. But also, what I'm hoping is by sending this forward, he will counter-charge or charge, do flanks, do all kinds of stuff, and get into awkward positions. I really just wanted to break up his battle line. I didn't want it to just be a wall of ceremonial guard. I wanted it to be a disheveled organization of ceremonial guard. So this is the kind of the foil I send in. Off go the Unforged Orcs. On the right side, well, it's just still moving up, but I'm now pushing the envelope. I'm just like, well, here's the horde of legionaries. What are you going to do? Because now they are right at your doorstep. And I've tried to stop multi-charges by putting out my Riftwalkers. So the Riftwalkers are out, so it's just like stopping the Rhinosaur cavalry from getting in. It's just, and my Hellstrikers are sitting right there, ready to pounce over and hit something. So what's going to happen? Yeah, so I just did 2 damage. Turn 3. So you can see, it's very exciting. So exciting, in fact, that the Caffeinated Warriors continue on their journey to get to this very distant token and take it. So they can have it, as far as I'm concerned. A little bit blurry, but you know what? I'll sharpen your vision with a description, a nice flowery description. So what do we have here? Well, his response to me getting close and personal is that his 1 ceremonial guard horde has flanked the Unforged Orcs, so that's dead Unforged Orcs, absolutely. And then the other ceremonial guard horde has just charged past them and clipped my legionaries there. And what I really should have done is angled it in such a way that gap was not possible. And I don't think I was even thinking that. I just thought he just bloody snap shut and try and destroy the Unforged Orcs. But instead now I've copped the 30 attack straight into a target that I didn't really want to take it. So what I should have done, ideally, is angle it so it's a bit more like that, so that the frontage is just not there. But you obviously got to do it carefully enough that you're not giving them a flank. But then, oh yeah, what I did is once I started taking damage on my Stormforged Shrine, I just thought, bugger it, it's getting damaged, it's getting hexed as well. I didn't mention that, but it's actually also been getting hexed by the opponents. So I just haven't been wanting to use it because it needs to move to keep up with the army. It's an important source of inspiring and fury aura, and it's so important that I decided to put it forward as chaff, so that his Rhinosaur cavalry would just charge right into it. So that was very important. So that's what I've done here. I just put it in front of the Reborn Legionaries, not thinking he would actually take it, but here we are, he's taken it. So we'll see if he can destroy that, because it is defense 5-18, taken 5 damage already, but it's still a pretty tough piece of floating masonry, I should say. Then over here on the right, well, finally some damage is happening, but it's the Unblooded have gone into the Riftwalkers, into the flank, and then we've just got some battle captain going into the front, and he's just being very hesitant with the Scourge Wings. He doesn't want to send it in whatsoever, but it's not looking good, because now the Rhinosaur cavalry have abandoned this flank over here. Essentially, by going over here, that's where they will be. Now it's up to the Scorch Wings alone to deal with this horde and the Hellstrikers, and I don't think that's something they'll want to do. Yeah, the Caffeinated Warriors, very proud of themselves, and the battle rages on. So the Phoenix has come in to shoot the next Amber Ox, but I think manages to decided not to shoot Amber Ox, decided to shoot some of my infantry here. So that's how the 4 damage went to these Reborn Legionaries. So yeah, bit of damage on them, but they have got very high nerve, thank you very much. Over here, well, we have a bit of damage on from Scorch Wings onto Amber Ox, but he can handle that too. Or maybe not from Scorch Wings, probably from the Phoenix, actually. So yeah, we just got all kinds of battles going on. So the Riftwalker is taken out. There's like 12 damage there, so no worries. Now they're just sitting there, and they're about to get charged by my Legionary Horde, which is exactly what happens. Over here, we've got Wavered. We were pretty lucky, actually. So we copped 30 attacks. There's a huge horde of them coming, the Samurai Guard hitting my regiment, and these guys, I think, already had 3 damage on them, so they only take 7. So they just get wavered, and being wavered, not so bad. I can hold them up for a bit longer because, like I said, I'm just trying to hold them up. Over here, the Unforged Orcs are gone, and it's just the Riftforger left in front of them, who was just kind of standing there. He's not in combat; he's just there. And yes, the shrine is absolutely obliterated by the giant Triceratopsy monster with all his Cold One pals. So now it's trying to just face the 2 regiments that are sitting here waiting to attack it. So we've got Riftforged Legionaries and Reborn Legionaries both waiting to pounce. And that's exactly what happened. So on my turn, we've got the double regiment charge onto the horde of Rhinosaur Cavalry. So that's going to be some considerable damage, especially with the Reborn Legionaries with their crushing 2. Ooh, boy, I do like that. But I do wish I had Bane Chant, but he beat Hex anyway, so yeah, the Shrine's not going to help here. The Riftforger has valiantly gone into the Ceremonial Guard hold, if only to just hold them up for a turn. I don't expect him to absolutely kill it by himself. Post Shadow Beast is gone, he's all by himself, so he's just going to have to try his best. Wavered Orcs. Now there's no Fury Aura, just wavered, so they're just sitting there. But the Amber Ox has decided enough is enough. We can't just keep shooting, and I can't let this Phoenix just fly around and potentially get into some rears or something. So the Amber Ox has gone in to get up close and personal and bring down this Firebird and bring it back to Earth and put it out. So that is a battle for the ages that will between something that's a pillow and also something that's a pillow. So we'll see if anything happens there. Over here on the right, as predicted, we've got the horde of Riftforged Legionaries that are going into the Unblooded. Thona is going to the Battle Captain. It's all just damage and calamity happening here. And so the Scorchwings sitting back are going, all right, we probably should have gone on a turn ago, but, we're just going to have to see who comes out on top. And I can tell you who's going to come out on top. It's going to be the Riftforged Orcs. So, damage done here by the Riftforger. Well, can you believe it? 3 attacks when you're hindered usually could lead to nothing, but somehow I do 2 damage, which is overkill. Really, I just need 1. I just need to do 1 to just stop them in their tracks, but 2 damage, I'll take it. What is more damage is the amount of damage that was done to these Rhinosaur Cavalry. The Rhinosaur Cavalry are put down, put away by the combination of the Riftforged and the Reborn, the double R damage. And so now they're ready to go and hit something else with their hammers. Over here, the Unblooded couldn't handle 25 attacks on 3s, definitely not. And so they're gone. And the Battle Captain somehow taking 6 damage, which is a lot, but just, jog on. Turn 4. What I didn't report on was the battle between the Amber Ox and the Phoenix, which resulted in no damage at all. So that'll continue on. That's why I didn't talk about it. But now, Scorchwings have decided to pounce, and they've gone into Thonar. They see a weak link, they see an individual. What if they kill Thonar, then go on and then hit the Horde? That's like double value. What they don't count on is Thonar is one tough little guy. I was going to say something else, but I don't want to say that because this is a children's show. It's not, but anyway. And so we have also the flank charge here into our wavered unit. So that's the doom of those Riftforged Legionaries. But, they're doing their job. They're just holding things up. Now, can you believe over the course of this game, the Commodons have actually done not very much. We're in turn 4, and they've done a little bit of damage here and there, but they're actually rolling very poorly. They're just kind of sitting there with their flowers, looking pretty, and that's about it. Countercharge of the Riftforger. Overall, not too bad. Not too many things getting engaged that I don't want to get engaged. I was getting cocky, kid, because I did get shot enough that these guys are wavering. So the Reborn are wavering there, and wavering they'll have to stay because I don't have a shrine. And these guys, the flank on the Riftforged Legionaries that were just holding up these guys is gone, so now they're dead. We've got double Ceremonial Guard Horde facing in, and the only thing stopping them is the Riftforger, which is probably capable of bringing them all down because he's a tough little dude. But the tough little dude does get wavered, so he's just taking 3 damages. And can you imagine? It was like all the rolls going through, and it was just like, oh, here we go, 3 damage. He survived. Wavering, sure, but he's still alive. So that was pretty incredible. And just 3 damage also on Thonar, and Thonar definitely can take 3 damage. So jog on. My turn. So what have we got? we have, from here, I've just turned my wavering unit just to face the incoming charges, so I don't expect much from these poor legionaries. They're on 7 damage, so the reborn will just have to be unborn soon. Whereas over here, where we saw a flank of a phoenix, we take a flank of a phoenix. So the Riftforged have gone right from bang into the side of the phoenix. Thonar's gone into the side of the phoenix as well, and the Scorchwings that just got stuck there had their flank directly exposed to this horde of legionaries, and I can tell you that's not something you usually want to do. It's definitely not recommended by your local practitioner, and you should probably get that checked. And so here he goes in. Meanwhile, I'm actually playing scenario. So we have the little Amber Orcs over here ambling up. The Amber Orcs that could, going up to my 1-point token. And what I'm really doing carefully is I'm going to get to within 3, but not poke my head out, because I know Commodons will just shoot the shit out of me. So I'm just going to move within 3, stay behind the hill. I'm height 3, he's height 3, hill's height 3. No one can see anyone. So that is one token that I consider mine. And we've already started flipping over tokens. So this one is definitely worth a 2. I think this one was a 2. Curse these things being white. This one's a 2. That one's a 1. There's another 1 around here, and there's a 1 off with the 𝐟𝐥𝐚𝐦𝐿 Warriors. So, that's most of the stuff to score is within this kind of one area. So it's a big battle to try and win all the tokens right here. And yes, the 𝐟𝐿𝐴 Warriors indeed already have won their little thing. So good on you guys. Turn 5. We're getting through it, aren't we? So now we have, the damaged reborn legionaries, the ones with the couch, have been attacked. They've been taken on by the ceremonial guard, whereas these ceremonial guard are deciding to try and finish off that the Riftforger that's in front of them. I think that's what they're doing. But you can see what I did not show, because I was getting far too quick through it, quickly taking photos, is that I did take down the Phoenix. Phoenix is gone. No surprises there. It can definitely not take flank charges from Thonar and from a whole unit. And also the Scorchwings are gone. So I now have all these Orc units over here that are just rearing to go. The Hellstrikers have started to be shot because they are height 4. And who was shooting that? Oh, maybe it was the Phoenix that shot them at some point a long time ago. But they've been shot a bit. But the Commodons certainly would struggle to see them through that forest. But anyways, they've been shot a bit, but most of my stuff over here, relatively undamaged, ready to go into the Ceremonial Guard hordes, which is not really where Hellstrikers want to go. But if I need to hold them up to hold some tokens, then that's what I've got to do. So yeah, over here we can see different combats happening. Oh, that's what happened. I think these guys sidestepped so they could see something better, because they were actually, their leader point was outside the forest, and so they needed to move. They withdrew, sidestepped, so they could actually start seeing things, because they were actually incapable of charging anything with their current view. Yes, there we go. Damage is being done on both sides. A bit of damage. Like, I think I was actually doing a consistent amount, like 2 damage per turn, but then it's got regen 4+, so it's like I do a bit of damage, it heals, and it just can't damage me very well, so it's really struggling to put any wounds on me. So this is all a very silly situation. But hey, we're holding each other up. But the Ceremonial Guard horde wastes no time getting rid of the Reborn, so now they're sitting there with a token right in front of them. So I think that is a 1 or 2. Actually, I think I see the outline of a 2 there. So that's the 2, that's a 1, and then the one with the 𝐟𝐿𝐴 Warriors is a 1. So this is very important too, and that's another 2 there. So right now, turn 5, the Ceremonial Guard have these 2-point tokens, and I've just got Orcs waiting to get into combat with them, but we'll just have to see how that goes. And so here, some shooting. I decided to start shooting at it. Or did I? Shooting? Or is that turn 6? Oh, blurry action shot. No, I think that shows that that was the Riftforger finally going in. So he was no longer wavered in turn 6, which is here. So I put the label in the wrong spot, but he's gone in, done a considerable amount of damage, 4 damage. Putting some damage on there and holding them up some more and falling over because he's at the lip of the base. So into the turn 6, skipping the terrible blurring action shot. Battle rages on, and it keeps healing. I keep taking damage, but the Amber Orcs will not die. Over here, well, we've zoomed in way too much, so let's zoom out. There we go. We've got Thonar, and we have the Riftforged Legionaries, the regiment there, have gone into this horde. And where did the Hellstrikers go? Oh, that's right. So, how do we get here? Turn 6. Oh, Turn 5. Yeah. All right. So I seem to have somehow missed some photos, but I can definitely describe to you what occurred in the end. So what happened in the end was the Hellstrikers went in. There was a battle captain in the way. And so did we go to turn 7? I don't think we did. You'd think I'd take a picture of that. But in any case, so the Riftforged Legionaries went in, the Hellstrikers went in, we had also Thonar go in, and it was all just hitting and doing quite a bit of damage to this Ceremonial Guard horde, but not enough to kill it. Obviously, the Hellstrikers were being hindered, thanks to the Phalanx. It was just not the way that they want to go in. But I had to do it in this way so that they would end up on this left side. He attacks back, kills the Hellstrikers, but then I have another round of combat going in, and it must have been a turn 7 because the game does continue after this, believe you me, because this horde ends up dying, and it was the most incredible way that this horde could have died because I'm hitting him with Thonar. Thonar himself does a truckload of damage, so we're getting up into the high teens, 19 damage. I only need to roll reasonably high twice, and then I roll a double 1. But this tournament has a token that they give you at the start, the Lady Burden Bowls token. And so that token can be spent once per tournament to do a re-roll of a nerve test. But in order to do that, one must beseech the Lady Burden with as impressive a call as possible so that everyone knows you've used it, and then you give up the token to the tournament organizer. And so I beseeched Lady Burden to give me her luck, and I re-rolled the dice, and I killed them. The Ceremonial Guard were obliterated. The 2-point token were given over to the regiment of legionaries that were just waiting to take it. And what's more is that this big fat horde, these really annoying infantry hordes, guess what they're good at? They're good at spanning between 2 different tokens that are 12 inches apart, and so they could not only hold the 2-point token in my zone, but, well, the 1 point, that was a 1 point there, but contest the 2-point token I stupidly put over there that his whole horde was holding. So we're both unit strength 4, cancelled it out, so there was no one holding that one. So I had a 1 with the 𝐼𝐥𝐚𝐸𝐸, a 1 here, and this 2, giving me a total of 4, to his 1 with his Commodon and 1 with the 𝐸𝐸𝐸 Warrior. So it was a 4 to a 2. And it was only because I obliterated this unit, because otherwise he would have had that 2 and actually flipped it all the way around. So it was in that very last turn with that tournament reroll that I managed to secure the win. But geez, was it close. And I told you I was going to struggle killing these Ceremonial Guard hordes, and I really, really did. So make sure you either delay them or you have some plan to get rid of them. I tried to delay them as much as I could so that they wouldn't get over here to a whole bunch of other tokens, because they would just march right all over it. So that's the game, and Josh was very sporting. We were both into the game the whole time. It was very exciting, and I hope he doesn't feel too annoyed that the means through which I ended up snatching the victory was through a cheeky tournament reroll. But, it was part of the rules, and I saved it up. Last year, I completely forgot to use it. I didn't use it once. I came home and I still had the token in my pocket, and I was like, oh, idiot. But this time I did use it, and to fantastic effect. And so another win for the Riftforged Orcs. That's 3 wins, 1 loss. So out of 6 games in total, getting 3 wins, that's usually the state I want to be. I just want to make sure I win as many as I lose to show that I definitely was paying attention at least. But yeah, Salamanders, there's an army that does heavy infantry and shooting better than the Riftforged Orcs. So definitely jealous, and it was a great, great game. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you think I should have played it differently, like maybe not using a Stormforged Shriner's chaff, probably not. But, it wasn't going to be what was killing the Rhinosaur, eh? It was just going to bring them in and then something else could kill it. So who's to say? It was also getting hexed all the time. So a hexed Stormforged Shrine is a useless Stormforged Shrine. So I just felt like I might as well use something else. But yeah, definitely there's some things I could have played better. Like maybe I should have contested the 𝐸𝐸𝐸 Warriors, sent something over there. Even 1 unit of orcs just sitting there could have done it. But I believe he outdropped me, so I don't know if I got to really have much say in that situation. But yeah, maybe I should have brought one of my regiments over there. Maybe I shouldn't have charged in with my Unforged Orcs to cause that thing. But what I definitely shouldn't have done is kept the front accessible to one of those hordes of Ceremonial Guard with my Riftforged Legionaries. That was definitely something I could have done better. And that is the beauty of being able to do these battle reports, is that I can kind of self-assess what I did, especially when it comes to these picture ones, because I can really take a time to think about it. The video ones, when I record those, I kind of just, they're recorded, they're all done, but I don't actually watch, unless I really need to find some kind of thing where we've said something. I don't actually have to watch all the footage we've taken, because I just lived it, and I don't need to do much post. Whereas when I'm doing these battle reports, I have to look at every picture again to jog my brain and bring me back to the moment when I was doing it. So yeah, it kind of allows me to better assess, and also kind of in a detached way, because sometimes I kind of forget. I'm like, what was I thinking? There's nothing I could have been thinking there that would have led to that move logically. So what was I doing? So yeah, that's why these are good for me. Maybe not as fun for you guys, but they still get watched, and I'm very glad for that. I'm glad you guys watch these as well as the other reports. And I have some other plans for other kinds of videos too, but you know what? I need time to record them. But here's one for you. There's 2 more to go, and then I promise it'll just be some more video battle reports with whoever will fight me. Fight me! Otherwise, keep caffeinated, and see you next time.